They can't see. They don't know the true fear. That is, oh my, there he is. Cut it. Cut it. We can't show Coco on screen.
That's not allowed. That's against the law.
Coco is dangerous. All right, here we go. MS Skysama, round of 16 still against FreeDoM. He's fighting FreeDoM?
FreeDoM!
Oh no.
One of my favorite movies.
Right. FreeDoM comes in the form of Forestcraft, apparently. It's not the worst hand. You're starting out with Elf Child. You got Ancient Elf. Will of the Forest if you need to clear out. And against Shadowcraft, you're probably going to need to clear the board.
Definitely.
That's
Fighter.
the second instance of Wind God that we've seen today. It makes a lot of sense. Oh my god. 2 Crystalia Aerons. Not really what you want to see in this matchup, I feel like.
Definitely not.
I mean, maybe if you make it to that point, but the question is, well, are you going to survive that long?
Impartial Sticks, Unicorn Dancer, Fighter. This is a neutral Shadowcraft deck that we're seeing here. Something I've never seen before, especially in a tournament setting.
Impartial Strix. Look at him. I like the way he folds his arm. Looks very commanding.
It gains a buff each time, or depending on the amount of neutral followers that are in your deck. So
oh god, he just had to do it.
When you got to do it, you got to do it.
Yeah, that's the worst feeling in the world. You always try to make excuses. Well, maybe 4 damage to the face is not that bad. But you will always regret it. All right, he's got 1 Roach in hand. Got Sylvan Justice that's going to be able to take down a card. But how are you going to deal with the ever so confident Strix? If you have at least 20 neutral cards. +2/+2.
Even if he evolves the elf, that's still only going to be 4 attack damage. He's got Sylvan Justice in his hand. That's going to be 2 damage. Definitely going to use that on the Unicorn Dancer. Not a very cost-efficient play, but I think the best one that he could have made in this situation.
Oh, he actually is going to leave the Impartial Strix up. So he needs to be a little bit worried if there's a method that Ancient Elf can be removed. Oh, and there it is. Goblin Princess trade in. Won't even die. Will be left with 1 health remaining, and here comes 5 to the face. Oh, God.
What a ruthless neutral deck.
There it is. There's the Elf Queen. We were talking about it a little bit. Elf Queen and Bolt. I feel like Crystalia Aeron, Elf Queen, Bolt is kind of the go-to play. Whereas before, I think a lot of players were kind of using Fairy Beast. Now I feel like it's more focused around kind of the Aeron, Elf Queen, White Wolf line of play. All right.
Good trade in the sticks. He's gonna elect to keep the Goblin Mage, seeing that he has Roach in his hand. I think that would be the right move to make in this instance.
Yeah. He doesn't have any Nature's Guidance for bounce on that Roach, so it's going to be doing somewhat limited damage. He could opt to use the Roach entirely for board clear, which I would not disagree with because, you know, maybe play to kind of look for later options, but he's got a second Roach now.
That 1 damage is going to take out Fina, and he's still got enough room to play the Goblin King.
Liriel evolved. Fina goes down.
What a nasty board that Skysama has got.
Yeah.
It's going to be such a battle to try to clean that.
The 5/5 Goblin King as well is just tough, and here it comes. Is Will of the Forest the answer? I mean, there's 11 health on board. Gonna have to get pretty lucky to wipe a significant amount, and there's nothing else you could play if you opted for Will of the Forest, so I think he's just gonna have to go with Aeron.
This ends here.
That's
This is what we were talking about. This is what people identify as a strength of picking this card, is that you have that safety of a ward and just good numbers to kind of tide yourself over, to extend yourself into the late game safely.
Not to mention the healing you receive.
Especially take special note for the shadows that Forestcraft is building up right now at about 6. So playing Elf Queen on the next turn, full heal, all the way back up to 20. And you get a 6/6 on the board. Oh boy.
He's got 2 orbs left. That's enough to play Coco and Mini, and a lot of face damage. That's going to be 4 extra damage on top of the 6 that he already has.
Here it comes.
Oh, come on!
Mimi's still in hand. And threatening, very lethal right now. No evolution of orbs on the field. 7 shadows. Crystalia Lily has the enhance, and so you can turn the 4-2 into a 1-1, but even then, opts not to go for the heal. Will of the Forest.
Sorry, gotta go.
Has to. He has to play the Roach.
Making sure the board stays clear is FreeDoM's #1 concern, standing at only 9 health when Skysama has 8 play orbs to use this turn.
Dance of Death is an interesting card to draw in this situation as well. When your opponent's health is so low, there's a necessity to play followers to kind of mitigate damage or threaten some kind of counter damage on your own. But playing a follower means you give Dance of Death an option to be played, which guarantees 2 to your face, as well as whatever is coming at you from in terms of just board control.
And it's interesting because I have to keep reminding myself that we can see all the cards that both players have. And what's difficult is trying to think about what is the most effective tactic to use when you don't have any information. What's going on in the player's mind right now?
Yeah. So what's really interesting to think about right now is those shadows, I mean, he's investing, right? Those shadows are building up more and more. It's going to be a 10 health heal. Still going to be healing up to full. He's going to take 1 damage here, so he's going to be a little bit off of it, but 10 health is nothing to laugh at right now. Gets his first silver bolt. So there is a world where he could actually do some face damage here, but he needs to be more concerned about how he's going to tide himself over. There's the Elf Queen, going to spend the shadows.
FreeDoM knows that Mimi is still in hand, and that's an extra 2 damage that's going to be stacked onto a follower's attack points.
There's no rush available. He could play the Roach and wipe out 1 of the 2 cards on the table right now. And I think I like this choice. Roach was not going to be a win condition for you. You didn't have very many 0 drops. Nature's Guidance wasn't there as well. You already had to trade 1 Roach. I think just use that to stabilize the board situation and try to figure it out from there, but I feel like it's still really tough, and we do see that Skysama has Grimner in hand. An incredible card against, I guess, Forestcraft in particular, just because of the health values of the typical Forestcraft cards.
He's got 6 face damage available to him right now, along with a Silver Bolt if you wanted to get an extra 4 damage, an extra 5 damage, excuse me. That would put him in the lead as far as health points are concerned, but I don't think that would be the best option.
Oh, pulled another Lily, and still has enough to enhance. Can turn 1 of them to a 1-1. That's a pretty good draw, I feel like, for FreeDoM.
Definitely, definitely. FreeDoM can see that Skysama is on his last legs. He's only got 2 cards in his hand, and he hasn't played any cards so far that have allowed him to draw more cards. So it's safe to assume that the card he's going to draw next is not going to give him an extra card. And what a board clear from FreeDoM. He's got all the tempo in his favor right now, plenty of damage.
And because he traded, it put the Elf Queen exactly at 4, and Grimnir
put Skysama just where he wanted to be to summon Grimnir and completely clear the board.
All right, the question in my mind is, does that Impartial Strix still have 20 neutral cards in the deck to give it the +2/+2?
He's only got 26 cards left in his deck. 20 of them would have to be neutral followers.
All right, he spent Will of the Forest here.
Ow!
4 play points left.
To get the most use out of the Silver Bolt, FreeDoM's definitely going to want to keep as many cards in his hand as possible.
Didn't have enough neutral cards, but another Cerberus. And that's really dangerous at this point in the game. There's 4 face damage available. That means 5 health left to spend. You're going to need a clear.
And there's no wards in sight. Next turn, Skysama is going to go for face with all the damage that he's had. The 2 Mimis and the 1 Coco are going to be absolutely nasty, especially with the 3 followers that he's already got on his side of the board.
He has to clear. I mean,
I think he knows that.
you play Lily, you can bounce to try to draw something, but I don't even know if there's a card that exists in FreeDoM's deck that can save him from this scenario. So now we wait. And now we wait. FreeDoM is waiting.
FreeDoM is waiting.
What is your response? Okay, he's just going to go for the fairy and draw, perhaps. He wants to have as much elixir as he can in case of object. Oh, there's a white.
There's the white wolf.
He would have loved that a few turns ago.
Yeah, definitely. And even still, it's not going to be able to destroy itself.
So he has exactly lethal damage here with Coco and BB in hand. Buff it up. You got to pump him up. You got to swing for face. It's the pits for you, FreeDoM. Skysama is going to take the first game here. Shadowcraft prevails.
Exactly the damage that he needed. That's got to feel pretty good. Skysama 1-0 against FreeDoM.
Cerberus is such a good card. I feel like with this expansion, it just made so much more sense. I feel like to start throwing Cerberus in there, and I think typically it's been a pretty good card.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it just feels like it fits into a lot of what Shadowcraft is planning to do now. It feels comfortable to play as a 5-drop, and Coco and Mimi give you insane value.
And it seemed to work really well with all the low-cost neutral followers that Skysama was running in his deck. The followers that like Ariel that does 1 damage when you evolve it, and everything like that. All right, we're getting ready to go into game 2. I can't wait to see what decks that FreeDoM and Skysama are going to be sticking with.
We'll know in just a moment. Here we go. Forestcraft for FreeDoM once again, and Dragoncraft. Dragon and Shadow go hand in hand nowadays.
That's definitely right. Grimnir, Draconic Fervor, Ouroboros seems to be a more neutral deck, or the ramp deck.
Oh, he's going to keep? He's going to keep? Okay. Now, that might make sense just in the sense that you're fighting a ramp dragon, or that would be your assumption. But that's tough. Keeping 2 of them? Ward is valuable. It certainly is valuable. Is that the choice
But having
here?
2 6-cost wards.
Yeah. Look at how many turns he's having to pass to a ramp dragon. We'll see if it pays off.
He has 2 Alias in his hand and a Sybil. That's going to be some nasty, nasty ramp. Come the next turn when he plays Alia, and then can evolve into the turn after that.
You can have the Utica on board as well. Not only just for its healing, but just the 2 damage. Get some board control there. And Ayla is free to swing face.
Sylvan Justice is tempting to clear the follower off the board. Exactly 2 damage.
I'm never an advocate of taking down Ayla on your turn.
Typically, yes. Typically, it's the most annoying thing as Dragoncraft when that card just stays on the board. When your opponent just, no, I'm not going to destroy it. Just choosing not to, and then you get to turn 9 and it's still on the board. So, oh, great, this is useless.
All right. Oh my God, double Ayla. Oh my gosh. 2 Elf Childs. If he rolls the dice well, he could take down one of them, but even then, you're still building play points for your opponent. So I don't know what the right play here is for Forestcraft. I feel like you're going to get to this point where you have Aaron, but you still don't really have a clear win condition here, and you haven't put any damage to face. Meanwhile, Mr. Dragoncraft here is sitting there with the Genesis Dragon. I mean, he's got some furious things. You got Sybil, you got Genesis Dragon, you got Rahab.
Sybil is definitely a staple of the neutral ramp deck nowadays. At the end of your turn, getting to restore 3 health to yourself. I mean, there's no comparable. There's no compromise to that. It's just such a good
give
card.
him the play points. He's okay. He's boosted up to 7 here. And a Bahama gets drawn as well.
There's a win condition.
8. So on the next turn, Dragoncraft is going to have 9 to spend. The Evolve to try to take control. And the fact that Dragoncraft went second and has the 3 Evolve Orbs rather than just 2, that's going to be real tough to deal with. Look at how many cards. Look at how many cards
FreeDoM has so many cards in his hand.
Jungle Warded is an interesting card. Will you make it to 10, and will it even matter when you make it to 10? There it is, the double elf child. See ya.
By the time FreeDoM gets to 10 play orbs, Skysama will have been there for at least a few turns.
Yeah.
Still on
only
turn 9.
coming up on 7 play points here.
Yeah, and still on turn 9, Skysama doesn't have a definitive move. Rahab getting the extra attack points is great, I think.
FreeDoM is being threatened.
FreeDoM is being threatened.
Sterling. Can we sit by and watch this in the North American Open? I don't know. Oh my god, it's 5-5.
And remember, after it's not just a fanfare ability. At the end of your turn, it gains attack points based on your remaining play orbs, and that's after each turn it stays on the board. So next turn, it would gain 10 attack if you just didn't play anything.
We'll see.
A very formidable card that Dragoncraft has in its arsenal.
I don't know. I feel like actually Tia, or sorry, not Tia, Lily is a very valuable card right now for FreeDoM. It's the best way to kind of mitigate anything scary you have. We'll spend it on the Rahab. Rahab. Evolve onto Lily.
He could clear the board if he wanted to, and then that would be the end of that, or summon a fairy just to get some follower on the board. He's got to know that Buhaman is coming right on turn 10, though.
Oh god. That's 9 damage to face. This game is going to close itself off real quick here.
Real quick.
Okay. You have Ward. And Bahamut is going to wipe out your Genesis Dragon, so that's not really... You could swing with Genesis Dragon and the Bahamut, maybe?
And
or just
Breath of the Salamander only having 5 damage is not going to be enough to take out that Ward.
Yep. Is Aaron going to be the hero? The hero to save all. Gains back 1 Evolution Orb, which is actually really, really key right now, because you really want to be able to wipe the board. If Storm doesn't kill you...
One Evolution Orb can completely change the face of a game and put the tempo back in your favor. So having that is absolutely necessary for this win that's going to come up for FreeDoM. If he can pull it off. But no evolution points.
No evolution points. We'll see.
Stop.
All right. Ancient Elf. Too little too late. Too little too late, I feel. The ward is still valuable. Ward is still valuable and slowly healing up by Aaron. And so finally the double Aaron on the mulligan coming into play here right at the end. And this is what we were talking about in that similar situation where we saw the 2 Tsubakis being thrown away against Dragoncraft. We were talking about how, hey, you know, maybe if you were playing against Dragoncraft Ramp, it might be worth it to keep these 2 cards around because you know you're going to get to that point. Right? Enough turns are going to pass that you can start playing those, and you know that Dragoncraft is going to have big bodies. 9 damage to face. There it is. The jungle wardens are ready.
The jungle warden, we're going to see what it's going to do here.
The jungle wardens are ready.
Does it have enough to change?
I don't know if that's a play, but they're ready. I mean, you're going to have to wipe out all 3 of the cards here because anything to the face, well, almost anything to the face plus Ouroboros is not healthy.
It'll still only be 5 damage if Ouroboros activates its ability and Zell or Unicorn Dancer attacks.
There it is.
Ooh.
Okay, he has 2 ward cards up here. So
very good.
If you... Okay, the situation is going well. It's going well. There it is. 3 damage takes down 1 of the wards. Genesis Dragon swings, and now, again, you find yourself back to square 1. But a second Jungle Ward is going to be able to wipe the board.
Yes, yes, yes. And Genesis Dragon has been attacking so much that it's been chipped away to only 3 health now.
Only 3 health. I can't believe...
FreeDoM is hanging on.
Jungle Warden. FreeDoM! The big thing here is Skysama is already 1 game up. And FreeDoM is on the verge of just getting eliminated right now. This is it. Here comes the monkeys. Oh my god, but even if you kill it, it comes back. He chose not to. He doesn't want to get that guaranteed 3 damage. He wants to force it to go through the ward. Oh my god, Siegfried, but there's no damage on the Jungle Warden.
There's no damage on the Jungle. He could attack the Warden, that would destroy it, and heal himself for 3, sending Ouroboros back to his hand.
Playing it to get 3.
Playing it to get another 3 damage.
Oh my god, this is just the slowest, most wet noodle death I've ever seen in Shadowverse.
Death by 1,000 cuts. But FreeDoM is hanging on. FreeDoM's not out of this game yet. He's building up to a Roach combo. He's got 2 Roaches in his hand and Nature's Guidance.
There's no 0 drops in sight. You still have the Evolution Orb too. You can't send Ouroboros back one more time and you're done.
He knows that.
There's a feeling you can evolve it for the 0 drop, but how do you do 19 damage with a Roach combo? I mean, you have Fairy Circle, you have Nature's Guidance, 2 of them in fact. My brain doesn't want to do the math right now. I don't think 19 damage is on the table.
I think what it's going to come down to is if he doesn't destroy Ouroboros, he attacks for face. And if you do destroy Ouroboros, it's summoned next turn, and that's 3 damage to your face.
I mean, he needs to just, you know what? Just do it. Here it comes. I actually can't believe he played the Roach as a first card, but got to bounce. Gets the White Wolf. Another Roach. Bounce, maybe. There it is. Very... Oh, he's just going to keep roaching. He's got Evolve in the last one. Oh my god, it's 6, it's 8! Duh! Nope.
Very close. Oh! 2 health off. FreeDoM respectfully bows out. Well played. GG.
You know, I'm sure there are a lot of people in chat right now. They're just the PTSD of fighting Roach, and they're just like super ecstatic that just happened. But they